by the end of this video, you'll think so too. Let's just jump right in. Oh, look. Now, I've played a lot of Telltale games. In fact, this new series is kind of based around Telltale games because of how many I've played. And certain things really irritate me. You know what I mean? Like, I hate it. I hate it. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Alright? Let's just what the fuck does Phil say? So, the first thing I'm gonna talk about is Sarah and Carlos. But nigga, how you see all this crazy shit going on and you decide not to teach you? Remember when season 1, this old white man, I forget his name, Chester something, Charlie, I don't know, maybe one of the two. He put Lee on game. This dude said, hey, this is an apocalypse. This isn't fucking Disneyland. Cut her hair, get her a map, teach her how to fucking shoot, how to live. Carlos is a damn medic. He's a doctor. He didn't teach Sarah nothing. And what happened? The first sign of trouble? We get captivated because she don't know how to fucking think. She doesn't know how to... Duh! And when Daddy got clapped, that was the beginning of the end. Carlos, this idiot. Remember when you first meet him too? He's all, you stay away from my daughter. She's not like you. I'm like, well, gee, I wonder why. Pops? Who made her stupid? I don't see a mom, so I guess there's only one person to blame. I mean, this is worse than quarantine. You ain't got nothing in here to do but learn shit. Alright. I'm gonna hop into the second thing here. And from one ignorant parent to another ignorant parent, we're gonna talk about Rebecca. The Rebecca issue. I don't know what it is with Telltale and black women, but making them overtly sassy for no goddamn reason. I mean, you can blame it on her being pregnant all you want. It's dumb as fuck. You in an apocalypse. If niggas leave you and the baby fuck. Alvin, that poor thing, he had to endure. I'm sure this dude spends a good majority of his time saying, she wasn't like this when I met her. You know, she was a really nice lady. You know, had manners. Stuff like that. No, doesn't happen here. And you see, the real issue is they were running from someone and you think they know this person well enough to know that he doesn't keep kids around. It would be ironic as hell if a random ass Clementine spawns from Carver's camp looking for adults. What? Rebecca, you She had the biggest attitude, the biggest gut. Still, even after she had the baby, didn't get time to work it off. My bad. The dumbass with the baby, and by the time it was born, she was even bigger dumbass. Because she really thought we was gonna sit by and let her eat the baby. Like, what? Oh, but we got more. Speaking of whose plan it was, there's Jane. Jane is an interesting character. I like Jane. Jane was my nigga. I see myself as Jane. You know, I'm a loner. I don't really talk to many people. I just sit there and vibe, you know? It's funny how she had the coolest arc and the ending was so lame. She goes from the coolest character to the lamest character in a matter of minutes. because she decides, oh, I just want to stuff little babies inside a car near zombies in the freezing winter. For what? What the hell? Why? Why would you do that? To show how crazy Kenny is? That just pissed me. Like, that pissed me off to no end. I'm like, you were the most relatable character to me, and you had to do some dumb shit like that. Now I don't like you. Now I don't like it. Now I gotta pick Kenny, because Kenny would have never done some dumb shit like that. He's had a kid. And depending on how you played the first game, he's had to put down his own kid. So, Jane, thinking of ways to throw her sister across rooftops and bridges and shit, decides, I mean, a crying baby making that much noise trapped inside of a car where zombies can definitely break that shit. Yeah, that's the safest part. It's safer than Kenny. What? What? I can't. Woo! Woo! Speaking of kids, that brings me to, what am I on now? I'm on the fourth thing, right? Let me tell you a little story about a guy named Arvo. I don't know how most of you guys play your Telltale games, but I'm suspicious of everyone I meet, and Arvo was no different. See, he had a bad leg, but the dust thing here. He had a bad leg and all, and he had an ailing sister. He had all this medicine. His backstory was real sympathetic, but I know Telltale. We know there's some bullshit. And sure enough, it doesn't matter what you pick. As Clementine, you are an 11-year-old girl. You have little power. Very little power. And on top of that, Jane, being Jane, scares him, and then he comes back, do whatever the hell he does, but then he comes back with a whole gang of folks, the Russian mafia, and they trying to murk us for some shit Jane did. And then Jane has the audacity to take off. I mean, to be fair, if it were me, I would have left before trouble started. But Jane, she was trying to instill wisdom in Clementine, and she did a shit job. It was alright, the knee trick was cool, but that fucked over everything because Arvo, surprise, surprise, turns out to be a little shit. But we'll get to him later. Nick is the fifth thing I hate about this game. You ever seen a trigger-happy redneck up close? You're lying if you say you did, you'd be shot. I don't know what type of daddy issues, mama issues, or internal issues he got, but this dude was literally the catalyst for the shitstorm that happened after we left that cabin. This nigga, dead ass, shows up on a bridge. It's me, Luke, and some other guy. He's up here talking about, I got shelter, I got food, the works, the whole 9 yards. Things you shouldn't go around blasting people for. Everything was good. Little Nicky says no. He has to put a veto to everything. Everything is going great. Everything is going smooth. And then here he comes. Here he comes. Talking about some, you said he was going to shoot. He had a gun. He was going to pull. If he wanted to shoot us, he would have done it already. This dumbass Nick blasted the guy for no reason. And as fate would have it, we would go meet his boyfriend a few stops later, and how we had to explain to him why his boyfriend ain't coming back. 'Cause of Nick. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, how have they survived this long? How? Who was the voice of reason? They're all helpless morons. with kids. Both of them. Ay, ay, ay. Which brings me to my sixth thing that I hate about this game, was the over-reliance on Clem. I understand she's a little older, she's a little wiser, especially with Lee's training. Shoutouts to Lee, RIP. But I'm like, these are grown adults. One of them has a degree. The other's a doctor. And these simpletons relied so much on Clem, you'd think she was the adult. And everybody else just looks bigger in comparison. They just look bigger. They're like really fat, really big kids. And Clem is like their mom or something, like Nanny McPhee or something. It killed me how she had to do everything. Who got the walkie-talkies? Clem did. Who had to calm down Nick? Clem did. Who had to calm down Kenny and Jane? Clem did. And this was some serious shit. Clem, this was her coming out party. This is when she really earned her badges. She was cool with me in the first game, but the second game, the idiots that they surrounded her with this one, the shitstorm they surrounded her with in this one, they outdone themselves. Telltale, if you intended to piss me off with characters, you did it. You did a great job. The seventh thing I don't like, killing Pete and Luke. Now, Luke was a bit of a candy ass when we first met, but he grew on me. He's cool people. Pete, I'm gonna assume, was the voice of reason, so naturally he had to die first. Pete to me was what Lee would have been had he survived into the second game. The quintessential voice of reason. But we can't have nice things, so of course Pete gets clapped. One thing that didn't make sense is he got bit and he didn't want to tell anybody. We had to find out, like, bruh, what? Like, that's the worst part. Like, Pete got bit and then just decided not to tell nobody. You had to find out. And bitch Nick decides he wants to just fuck off. I'm like, I'm still alive? I chose to help your uncle. Why'd you come and save me? But you know, Pete did sacrifice himself so I could escape. I don't know how he did it, but he did. And while we're on the topic of people randomly dying, this is a bonus, if you will. Krista and Omid, the way they ended was also something I didn't fuck with. Some kid misused a gun and took Omid out. Omid. We just played a whole season with this nigga. And that is how he dies? Really? And Krista was pregnant with Genevieve or whoever the hell. And she comes in with this rifle, offs another black chick. Telltale's got something with black chicks against them because both of them don't make it to episode 2. I don't know where the hell Krista goes, and the black chick, little Tootie, whatever the hell her name is, she's gone. Like, she gets blasted. She dies. And that's the end of that. We don't know where Krista went. There's no follow-up to it. Omid is just lying dead in a fucking girl's bathroom next to the person who killed him. And there's no follow-up. We find a guy who attacked me and Krista later on in the game, but still, no follow-up. He just wants his water. Lame. Anyway, Sarita. What is this? Like, Alright, not counting a bonus, I think it's my 8th thing. Sarita pissed me off. I ain't gonna hold you. She really irritated me. And I mean, it was nothing she did personally, because I felt like Kenny needed her. You know? Kenny really needed somebody, because Katja, she has the audacity to get bit in the arm. Like niggas weren't telling her to just walk slow. How the hell did you get bit? There's gunfire and some more shit. The kids didn't even get bit. Sarah ran through a whole train of zombies and she didn't get bit. What the fuck? Oh, Sarita. And what's worse is you're stuck with 2 options: to chop her arm off or to just kill the zombie. If you have any decency, you're going to kill the damn zombie. But first, you gotta chop the arm off. Like, you're gonna have to at some point. But guess what? It doesn't matter, because both of those options result in her immediate termination. Don't you just love Telltale? Well, so Sarita's dead. Kenny's lost again. Kenny's pissed again. Which spears head right into the next thing. My 9th thing I hate about this game. Mike. Remember how I said we were going to get back to Arvo? Well, they all culminate right here. 9 and 10. 9 and 10. Bonus. You get 9 and 10 together, because 1 is Mike and 10 is Bonnie. Fuck Bonnie. Jeez. On top of this shit cake is the shit cherry. And it's Bonnie. So, after the whole showdown between the Russian Mafia and Arvo, we keep Arvo hostage. And he's trying to take us to some weird ass cabin with all the weird ass chili and baby formula, I think. So, Kenny, of course, is beating the hell out of him because of what happened. We're down Rebecca. So unfortunate. And then we gotta take care of AJ, the baby. Do you know what Mike and Bonnie, do you know what these 2 nigglets did? They dead ass tried to sneak off with Arvo of all people, with all the food in a truck they didn't even fix up. I'm gonna get more detailed on Bonnie, but Mike, I expected better from you. We just had an African American male protagonist go out like a champ, and then you go out like a bitch? You had big shoes to fill, my guy. And you dropped the ball. Hell, you didn't even make an attempt to grab it, to catch it. You just... your ass. This dude just caused a mini World War III, Arvo. And then you gonna help him because you don't like Kenny? And then, even if you didn't like Kenny or Jane, you were planning to leave Clementine there. What did Clem do to you? All she ever did was get your ass away from Carver. Ungrateful black ass. I was about... Bonnie, your time has come. I'm really about to heat this redheaded bimbo's ass, because there's so much shit I want to unpack. Where do I begin? The shitstorm in 400? Should I go back there? Or, you know what? This is Telltale, The Walking Dead Season 2, so we'll start there. When we first see her, she's out here talking about some, I got kids, you know? Lying ass nigga. I could use some food. Lying ass nigga. So, remember that guy Nick blasted on the bridge? Well, we found his boyfriend 2 stops down, like I mentioned, and he was nice enough to take us in. Now, Bonnie's snake ass finds this cabin as well, and again, the guy is just nice enough to take her in, give her food, send her on her way. Well, unfortunately, that led to Carver finding us. So Bonnie has snaked us. He was so nice to this broad, and she snaked us. Strike one. We're in Carver's camp, and she decides, oh, let's just turn over a new leaf. I want to help out now. Well, she just snaked Carver. So I'm like, this bitch is 2 for 2 for snaking people who help her. Why are we traveling with her? Strike 2, by the way. We had just survived this little showdown with the Russians, and we're walking over this thin ice thing or whatever the fuck. We were attacked by zombies, and at some point in the game, Luke, who was banged up at this point, falls through a little crack or what. I don't even know how it happened, but he did. And he is up here telling everybody, me and Bonnie, we're the only ones that are watching. Jane is out there, Kenny and them are across already. We're just watching Luke sink to his death, but he is struggling to pull himself up. And this dude is telling us, do not come near me, you will make the ice crack, which will make me sink further. And I don't want to sink further. Bonnie telling me, an 11-year-old girl by the way, hey, why don't you be a pal and go save Luke, this 27-year-old cripple? Like, what? So, what ends up happening is, I didn't know you could kill Bonnie in this one. I'm kind of pissed. But I didn't kill Bonnie. Which leads to me hating her and Mike and Arvo. So, I didn't kill Bonnie. Bonnie goes in, and as expected, the ice cracks. Now, with that being said, Luke doesn't make it. And somehow in my playthrough, Bonnie survives. I survived because Jane was a pal and pulled me out. Damn, I hate that she did what she did. Because Jane was my... I fuck with Jane, man. But anyway. So, we get back, and Bonnie has the arrogant lady balls to blame me for Luke's death, when her dumb, redheaded bitch ass was the sole reason he died. He said not to go walking on the ice because it'll make him sink further. It will break the ice around, and all that weight will make him sink. People with common sense knew that. People with positive IQ knew that. But Bimbo Bonnie didn't know shit about shit. And then she gonna blame Clem. Like, that was Clem's job. What? That ain't Lee, you dumbass. And we ain't even got to the worst part. None of those were strikes. Those just are being a bitch. None of those were strikes. Because strike 3, the final straw, was her and Mike sneaking off with Arvo with all of our food. And this would make it the second time she has screwed us. She, for the 3rd consecutive time in a row, has fucked over somebody who's been nice to her, who's been helpful to her, kind to her. And again, she went with the enemy, snuck off. And I don't even know what happened or how we ended up with the van or the truck. But we did. And that led to the whole fuckery with Jane and Kenny. Bonnie, you are pussy ass nigga of that game. You are the pan of that game. You are. And that is 10 things I hate about you.